YouTube. Zulma Gonzalez, this mic is all yours.
Ah, a thankful Thursday family. I was just realizing, I didn't see myself, and I just realized why. There's a piece here that's under view, where you can hide self view, so you never have to see yourself while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. And I just discovered that well, it was actually taught to me in in a workshop I was doing, because when I'm having sessions, I'm a spiritual life coach, you know that. So when I'm actually having a session with someone on Zoom, I don't want to watch me. I just want to have attention on the person with whom, um, whom God has put in front of me. And, um, and I'm like, okay, she's talking about, I don't see me. Where am I? But thank you. I went to uh, a close, what is a demonstration, a workshop. And the gentleman said, don't dress to impress. And I said, good. I don't like that anyway. He said, dress to express. And I thought, "Hmm, well, that's different. Dress to express. That actually, it did something for me. I can, it did something for me, because I've always been one to, um, I used to wear all black all the time, all black all the time, because I was trying to hide, and I couldn't hide. Oftentimes I was the one wearing all black all the time. I was that one. You really can't hide. You can't hide. So I discovered I couldn't hide. So I gradually, I started adding a bit more color, and then he said something about, whatever that color is that you really don't like, wear that. Wear that. There's the fact that you get some kind of a charge from it. It's kind of like how we're taught to look at the illusion so that we can dispel it, look at the problem so we can get rid of it. It's kind of the same thing. So he said, dress to express, not to impress. As you see, lovable right there. He's blanketed. I don't know what's going on with him. He's acting his own way. Um, I'm dressing to express. Now, I want you to know that I've made myself a latchkey kid. Again, this lanyard was given to me as a birthday present, and I really like it. It's just, it's wooden beads. I really, really like it. And but I decided to right there, um, see you soon. I decided to put a key on it, and I wear it. I wear it all the time, all the time. Hi, Sally. Good to see you. Um, so yeah, some dressing to express, not to impress. I already talked about the hair. It's a crochet. People don't talk about, a lot of people don't talk about their hair, especially when they do something that's not um uh quote real. It's actually a crochet. So what you're seeing is not my hair. Sally says, wow, my hair is braided under here. It's braids. Yeah. And then the fake hair, this is what I always call it, the fake hair. Well, my hair is black and gray, so I bought fake black and fake gray hair. But the hair itself, each piece has a hook, rather a loop, and then there's the hair, and then it comes with a hook, and they literally are hooking the pieces to my hair, right? It's You can get it anywhere. You can any hair store, Amazon, anywhere. And and it's quite a bit of, it's more than it's a lot to me. So you'll see pieces of it here and there. I have it all pulled back in a ponytail. It's too much. It's a lot. It's just a lot for me. Although it is about the length of my hair, because I have tight coiled hair, my hair actually comes to about here, but you wouldn't know that because it's like, remember the Duncan Hines commercial? Press it, pull it down, and springs back up. Push it down, and springs back up. I have that kind of hair, so you would never actually know what the length of my hair is unless I decided to flat iron it, which is not going to happen. I haven't done that in a million years. Anyhow. Enough about me. I keep saying I'm not going to talk about. I keep thinking I'm going to talk and spend my time talking about me, but let's talk about really. Um, so yesterday I had a flat tire. Uh, I just got my car in January. I decided to total the one before that one and got the car in January. And I'm driving to work and I hit a hole and I said, "Oh, that didn't feel good at all." Like it was really a hard hit. And left there yesterday at 7 o'clock. Left work at 7 o'clock, and I get in the car and I get on my tablet because I was getting involved with a spiritual living circle, which is something out of Centers for Spiritual Living. Once a month, we do a study using the Science of Mind magazine. It's called Guide for Spiritual Living magazine, um, and there's 4 articles in there. And we talk about that, and we do this once a month. And I'm setting up my tablet because I'm going to drive home, so of course I can't really, like look in on the Zoom. I get in the car and I pull off, and I hear this blah 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 blah. That's how it sounded. Blah 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 blah. That's what a flat tire sounds like to me. Blah, 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 blah. So the way the streets are in West Philadelphia, it seems like you have to go to me. It seems like you have to go 3 streets around before you can get back to where you were. So I needed to get back to where I was primarily because I'd been drinking iced tea, and iced tea goes through me like it just goes through me. Um, Water, equals water, and so I go back around, and now I have to, call the roadside assistance. And this is my first time doing this with this car, and don't think I did it at all ever with the last one. But anyway, um, the whole roadside assistance thing, and it was quite the experience. And I'm telling you that only to the point that the 3 women who were on the Zoom call with me decided to stay with me the whole time. They were there, when the roadside assistance person came. They reminded me to make sure my phone was fully charged because they keep calling. They keep calling to make sure you're still there. I was getting all kinds of feedback, and they were just, it was as if they were sitting right there in the car with me, and it was the most wonderful thing. Um, and I bring that up because there was a time when I used to do I'm an only child. And I used to say only child, lonely child. I had that view that, life was, oh my God, I was the victim of the world I was absolutely a victim. Everything was terrible. Everything was always just horrible. And, or at least so I would think. I wouldn't project that. Oh, I'd smile and I'd laugh, and everything, it was just I was just lonely within, and not realizing that what was coming to me was based on what I was putting out. It was, that energy was just, it's the oneness of it. So even though people always treated me well. I always put out a way that people were treating me well, but on the inside, I didn't feel it. I felt like they were only doing it because they were doing it because they felt sorry for me. Oh, the reason why I get invitations to Thanksgiving dinners is because they know that I'm alone, and I don't have anybody that kind of thing. That's the way I thought. Now, and mind you, there is not a single day of the week that I have a problem sitting and eating eating alone. I have no problem with that at all, ever. Um, because I like my company. I really do. There's always a book to read or something to listen to, or some music. I can dance at the table if I want to. I don't all that. But I used to think that people did what they did because they felt sorry for me. Understanding today that it was me feeling sorry for me. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. uh, so I lived feeling sorry for myself. Why does this have to happen to me? Why me? I went to an adult children of alcoholics meeting once, just once. Um, my stepfather uh, was a chronic drinker and drug user and physically abusive and all that kind of stuff. And it's just part of the story. And and then it was, of course, during those days when I was feeling sorry for me. I had already stopped using nicotine, but I was still have, these feelings. I had all these feelings. I didn't know what to do with these feelings. And oh, poor me. And I'm gonna go get answers, and they're gonna listen to me so I can. Anyway, I go to this meeting, and I remember there was a woman sitting on the other side at the far end on the on my left, and she was talking about having been born into an alcoholic family, an abusive alcoholic family. And suddenly you get that revelation, that holy instant, that moment, that moment when suddenly my life wasn't so bad anymore. I could go home to the alcoholic stepfather. I could go home and at this point be more, defend my mother more. The fear just it disappeared. It disappeared at that meeting. There's that so-called story of the joke about the man who walks into a room with bearing a very heavy cross. He goes in this, goes into to St. Peter or somebody, and it's a room full of crosses, and St. Peter tells him, well, you can pick whatever cross you want. You just walk around, take your time, and whatever cross you want, you take that cross. And he's looking and he sees these, oh my God, these enormous crosses, and or these elaborate crosses, or these really rugged, old, ugly looking crosses. And oh, and he's going and it's taking hours looking through these crosses. And finally he comes across one. He says, oh, that's the one I want. I'm gonna take that one. That's the smallest, it's the simplest. I can handle that one. And so he tells St. Peter, he says, this is the one I want. He says, are you sure? He says, yeah, yeah, yeah. He says, look at it. I mean, look, all these things are humongous. That's just too much cross to bear. He says, you're absolutely positive. He says, yes. He says, okay. And he says, by the way, as he's leaving, he says, that's the one you came in here with. That's the one that you came with. So uh, we try to compare our lives. Oh, I'll speak for myself. I can speak for all of us. We try we compare our lives to other people's. We look at what looks like greener grass. We think the grass is greener. At the same time during the same years that I was woe is meing about being the only child, lonely child, only child, my companions, my comrades, my friends, you know, were feeling some kind of way because I was the only child and that they felt like I got privileges that they didn't. And later on, I realized, yeah, I did. There were those things, but then, because I was in the woe is me stage of my life, I felt like, oh, I'm the only one that did this. I'm the only one that went to that kind of school. I'm the only one who lived in that kind of house. I'm the only one this. I'm the only one that, and didn't understand, realize, recognize that my uniqueness is what made me me, that we are all given, we are all the kingdom and expressing our own kingdom the way it was granted to us. It's God expressing through me, as me, and that there's no one that can do it exactly like me. That used to scare me. I felt, oh, I'm quirky. Oh, I'm different. I I I don't want I don't want people to. I would try to. I've never really been able to hide. I've never been able to hide. So I'm the one that people would ask. I remember being in high school. This just came to me. In high school, I always had a thing for lyrics and songs and remembering. My memory does things. I can remember things that I don't know how I remember it, but I'm the one that people would call to ask for the lyrics of songs. And at one point, I used to charge a quarter, charge a quarter to go listen to a song. We're talking about when we were 45s. You know what 45 is. You're all, everybody here is old enough to know to remember what a 45 is. Um, and I would listen to these 45s and I would listen to the song over and over and over and write the lyrics, and I was recognized as being the one who did that. And then later on, I was recognized for being a poet. And I was recognized just these different things along the way. And I didn't ask to do these things because of course you don't ask. You have to be humble and you know all that. You got to be humble. I wasn't asking to do these things. I was being asked. And I don't know what day among, when in time it finally occurred to me that I wasn't recognizing my own worth. I was so busy being self-conscious because I was different, because I was the one who did or spoke or believed differently than others. I wasn't realizing that I was being valued by others for those very things. My worth, clearly, I am clear today. My worth is not established by any of that, by the way. None of the things I did or what I thought of myself or what others thought of me. My worth is established by my creator. The fact that I am here. I am here. And I am here, back to what I said, to express, not to impress. And the whole thing back then was exactly that. We're trying to impress someone. We want somebody to think well of us. We want somebody, I'll speak for myself. I don't know what you did, but yes, I do. But wanted somebody to think well of me. I didn't want people to think of me what I thought of myself. Every response we make is determined by what we think we are. I'm talking about A Course in Miracles meets Science of Mind and other metaphysical teaching. I'm talking about life. I'm talking about what we call God, spirit, truth. It's life. It's life. And it's just life in form as we know it. That's all we're talking about here today. It's just life. I suppose I was listening to Dove talk about that. I didn't realize it had been 12 years when he had experienced his body was experiencing cancer. And then he heard that God didn't, that cancer wasn't created, that it was a made up thing, was man made. And it was Dove's mind, just like it's our mind, because we're connected to the one capital M mind. When we recognize that God is the mind with which we think, life, God, spirit, truth, reality is the mind with which we think. When Dove, he had that moment of revelation, like, well, wait a minute. Well, if that's the case, then must not have cancer. And poof, it was gone. The doctors couldn't, there was nothing, the doctors, they couldn't figure it out. So I love that story. They told, he was supposed to get so many treatments and he decided, no, no more. I'm not, this is, no, no, no. And I have to admit, at the time, when I heard about it, when I heard before Dove had stopped getting the treatments, when I had heard that Dove had cancer, I had my moments of fear. I would come to Pal Talk, just to make sure Dove was still there. All this stuff, you know what I mean? Um, and then I realized, wait a minute, he's not afraid. Why should I be? Wait a minute, Zulma, what are you, what you're studying, but are you practicing? I can study, studying, but I wasn't practicing. Doug was showing us. He was demonstrating. Ernest Holmes said, "The truth known is truth demonstrated." And we can say we know this. I can talk about all the stuff I know and all this. But if my life isn't, if I'm not demonstrating what I say I know, then I really don't know. Think, hope, believe. But to know, to really know, to trust, trust, as Doug gave us, to rely on spirit totally. That's what he did. That's what he demonstrated. And that's what, listen, greater lessons. Sometimes we just have to grab hold of something that we got from somebody else and say, all right, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this. The proof is there. The demonstration is there. We have seen different things in different situations where we think it's heading in a disastrous direction, but whatever we call disaster, and everything really is for our highest and our best. The course teaches us that everything is in our own best interest. Everything. I was just reading that. I love that. I love that. That's in lesson 25. I love that. That everything is for our own best interest. We don't know what we really don't know what anything is for. We don't know. Mm, or we think it's for something else. We think that something is for something else. And the lesson tells us, I'm going to find that because I was just reading it. It's one of those lessons that 25 that I read it often, often, because 24 tells us that we don't perceive our own best interests, and then 25 tells us that everything is for our own best interests. That's what it's for. Everything is, everything is. Let's stop that sentence right there for a moment. Everything simply is. Not good, it's not bad, it's not ugly, it's not pretty, it's not anywhere in that hierarchy of illusions. It's not difficult, it's not easy. It just is. What does the course say? It's either true or it's not. So if it's not true, then it simply isn't. What's not true isn't. We call it a lie, we call it an illusion, we call it we have all these words for it, but it's just not real, not there, just not there. Everything is for our own best interest. Everything, everything. And the first thing that comes to mind is the day, well, it just came to pop in my head, is the day I took my mother to the hospital, April 18th of 2008. The day I took her to the hospital for her own best interest. Prior to that she was perspiring and prior and what, no, better than that, 2 days prior, 2 days prior, when she woke up, seemingly out of her mind, asking where was she going and where were they taking her. It was after the fact that I was able to see it was preparing me. It was preparing me. 2 days before that, when she said, we're walking down the street and she stopped, she said she wished God would take her. It was preparing me, because the relationship between mommy and I had grown to become so wonderful. It had become so strong. It had become so powerful that I had begun to make a God, an idol of the beauty of our relationship, because it was something that I had always wanted and finally had. Mommy and me, mommy, and it was no longer lonely only. It was only mom, only child, only mother, that kind of thing. It became, and I had, and I clung to every moment of that. It was just amazing. They're memories for me forever. But I had clung to that. So I heard talking about angels earlier. I never, I went to Catholic school. I never could wrap my head around these physical angels because I had never seen one. I mean, the one with the wings, I had never seen one. So I never could wrap my head until there was something in me that, unless I see it, I'm not going to believe it. And now I know that I see what I believe. What I see is what I believe. Rather, what I believe is what I see. And that's all of us. And the course tells us that what we believe, that's is what we see. So, so I didn't, but there were always, there was, the universe has always, God, spirit, has always sent messages in one way or another. And sometimes, you have to do the discerning thing where you sit back and you look at it. Oh, now I see why that was. Everything is for our own best interest. This had nothing to do with what I had planned on talking about today, but spirit works the way spirit works. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. Um, for our own best interest. It's and everything is for our own best interest, and that's what it's for, and that is its purpose. Everything, whatever it is in recognizing this that your goals become unified, and it is in recognizing this that what you see is given meaning. I understand today that there's always something more to it. And I'm very, very intentional about that. 9 times out of 10. A couple days ago, it's funny how I can remember that what I did, but I can't remember what. Oh, I was standing at the dining room. Something I had I had grabbed my watch. My watch stopped working. When that one of those smart watches. How smart is that? It stopped working, and I had it in my handbag for a couple of months now. Because you know how I do, right? Um, so I finally decided I'm going to make the phone call. I'm going to, do what I have to do. Pick up the watch. I come in here. I sit down, and suddenly the watch was gone, and I still don't know where it is. The watch disappeared. So here I am making phone calls, only to find out that the phone number that they gave me wasn't the number that it wasn't. I wasn't supposed to call Samsung. I was supposed to call the company that the watch was insured with. But that won't matter until I find the watch. So now I'm back in the dining room, and I'm freaking out about this watch. How could I, I'm, telling my, how could I do this? Where could I put this darn thing? And I mean, I took myself into a frenzy and started to cry. I'm doing it again, and almost actually starting to cry thinking about it because now it's funny. Like, and this, it was like a minute tops, and all of a sudden I said, "Zulma, wait, stop, hold it, stop! What are you doing? What are you doing?" I said this out loud. Lovable's looking at me like I'm crazy. It is what it is. Pause. Stop. Wait. Stop. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Now, I understand that, I don't know. I don't, I checked in the sofa. It's not in here. It's definitely not in here. Oh, I don't think. It could have fallen further and it could have fallen deep enough that I don't, as far as I can tell, it's not in the sofa. But somewhere that watch fell. The purpose, the purpose it's not about the watch. There's other things that, and I started, moving some things and getting rid of some things. And I grabbed the bag, the bag for this and a tub for that, put away, throw away, give away type of stuff, right? As I'm going through things, and that's really what it's for. Because I had made a decision um last week, early last week, that the purging will be on a daily basis. I'm going to purge on a daily basis. Purge on a daily basis. And I was given a reason to purge. And then I started laughing. I mean, if anyone had been watching, they probably would have thought I was like had lost my natural mind because I went from calm to anger to tears, fear based, all fear based, and then a revelation. And then I went into action. Every response I make is determined by what I think I am. And what I want to be must determine every response I make. I have to learn, as Ernest Holmes says, to see the spirit in everything I see, do, say, think. God, the Course tells us, is in everything we see because God is in our mind. And it is during those times. And peace is always where I am. That I did put on the screen. I'm not putting anything on the screen today. I'm just going to read it to you. I don't feel like it. Ernest Holmes wrote, "The kingdom of heaven is within you. Within you is the kingdom of God, and within the kingdom of God is peace. A conscious knowledge of this peace, coupled with a definite use of the law of mind," back to that, God is in everything I see, God is in my mind, the mind of God, the mind of God, the capital M mind of God, coupled with a definite use of the law of mind, gives to each the possibility of freedom from the bondage of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. Maybe I will put that on the screen, just that slide. Just that one. Yeah. And I followed that up with, from the Course, peace is part of you, part of me, part of us, and requires only that you be there to embrace any situation in which you are. See, these situations, they come and they go. The experiences, they come and they go. The what? It came, it's around here somewhere. It'll turn up when it's supposed to. In the meantime, okay, so there's no limit to where we are, no limit to where I am, no limit to where you are. Peace is everywhere as you are. But we have to remember, I have to remember, to keep focusing, engaging, engaging with that peace, engaging with God, to be open to that whatever's going on, whatever it is, I can stop and look at it, pause and pivot, as Regis reminds us, pause and pivot, pause and pivot. Ernest Holmes says, change your thinking, change your life. He says, tell me how you're living. I'll tell you what you're thinking, or that it's just the way it is. It's a reflection. It's a mirror. It's a mirror. There's no point in me lamenting the world. No point in trying to change the world. I can't change the stuff out here. I couldn't, no matter how much I tried. That watch was not the purpose. The purpose was not about the watch. It was not about the watch. And I get a kick out of these real life situations for me to find out, am I living this? Or is it just something, I just read it and that was that? Am I living this? I'm living this, and I'm loving that I'm living this. This was not what I had planned to talk about today. And Dove had told me way from the beginning, just trust. Let the spirit speak through you. And it is. The second's getting ready to speak through my Karen. Go ahead, my Karen. Hi.
Oh my God, I love this topic. I'm so glad that you decided not to do whatever you just were going to do. Spirit guided you perfectly. Peace is the goal of this course. And this whole entire course is leading us to peace. And I love that section you read. It's like one of my absolute favorites. I remember one day, a long time ago, when Regis used to teach, and we were teaching, three of us in a row. And it would be, I think it was you, Regis, and me. I forget, but I know I was after Regis. But anyway, you shared this section, and I shared, I think it was chapter 7, section 7, which was your favorite section. right? And it was like, oh my God, you're teaching my favorite section. I'm teaching your favorite section. It was so cool that day. That day we were so in tune. But this is the goal, and this is everything we're learning here, to be at peace regardless of what's going on around us, regardless of what's happening, to recognize that I can see peace instead of this, that I must have decided wrongly because I am not at peace. And trust me, that is my practice on a daily basis. And I fail, as we all fail, but that is the beauty of, looking. We look and we recognize, you know what? Yeah. Like I think it was Sharon who shared something Keith Kavanaugh shared recently. And I think it was Mickey who sent it to me, because I like to hear when course teachers talk about when they make mistakes and when they fail to, listen to the Holy Spirit, or when they judge and they really are pissed off. All right. Because this is what we're human beings too. And regardless whether we're, people, here in form we are. And so what he shared, like he didn't want to give up his judgment. He didn't want to right now. I'm not ready to. And that's okay. And I could relate exactly to what he said, and everything he said was my process and what I go through. And so I'm like, he's not teaching me anything I don't already know. We all have the same mind, and we put people on pedestals. And I'm not saying people do, but some do, and it's okay. I used to see people as special. We all go through that, but we're all the same as the one mind. The one thing I wanted to share that reminds me of what you're sharing, and it reminds me of you, because you're always teaching this. And it's in the Atonement as Defense in chapter 2, section 2. And he says, okay, that is why the Bible speaks of the peace of God which passeth understanding. This peace is totally incapable of being shaken by errors of any kind. It denies the ability of anything not of God to affect you. So when we're in our right mind, aligned with the Holy Spirit, aligned with, nothing can touch us, nothing can hurt us. There's nothing my holiness cannot do. This is what the Course is teaching us. So what you're sharing is perfect, and I need to be reminded, as we all need to be reminded. And thank you, and I love you.
Thank you, Karen. I love you too. This is nothing. The fact is that nothing can hurt us. Nothing can separate us from God. And it's the belief in any way, All right. Who said that? I just saw something. Lauren wrote something. In any way at all, the belief that there's something wrong is the belief that God is making a mistake, that life is making a mistake, that it's not happening the way we think it should. Glorian wrote, anyone putting anyone on a pedestal, they will fail. Oh, they will fall off, because we all still hear the ego. It speaks first. Yes, absolutely. And in chapter 29, seek not outside yourself. Don't look outside. Ernest Holmes says that what you're looking for is what you're looking with. What we're looking for is what we're looking with. The kingdom is me. I am the kingdom. You are the kingdom. The kingdom. The kingdom. So seeking outside, looking outside for what's in here, I'll never find it. I'll never find it. And I better be careful that when I'm looking in here, or when I think I'm looking in here, that I'm not trying to say, yeah, well, I'm spiritual and you're not. Oh, I'm more spiritual than you because that's a crock. Anyway, all attack is self-attack. Go ahead, Gloria, and thank you, my love.
Hi, good morning, Zulma. I have a background noise here, so I'm going to speak quickly. But I just wanted to say this is a great conversation. And, it was coming to me that, when we're teaching and we're sharing the thoughts and ideas that we've accepted, we receive guidance from one another. We're reflecting, we're a mirror for each other. But true inspiration only comes from that I am within this, by seeking the Holy Spirit in the silence. Thanks so much.
Yes. It's in the quiet. It's in the quiet, and oh, because that cacophony, that's attack. It doesn't feel. You can understand those of you who don't know the whole ADHD thing will understand when you're hearing that. That's kind of like how the ADHD brain works. Things start. It feels like there's a whole lot going on at one time, and I can't stop it. I can't grab any one thing. I wish I could just talk it out as it's coming, because there's so much happening at one time. But then, you know how the workbook lesson says, you look around the first lesson, and look around, says, look at nothing in particular. This doesn't mean anything, and that doesn't mean anything, and that book doesn't mean anything, and this doggy doesn't mean anything, and this computer doesn't mean anything. Well, when the mind starts racing, it's like it's seeing everything at once. Everything is happening at one time, and can't seem to get a handle on it. To me, that is self-attack. To me, that compares to the whole self-attack. Anytime I think that something out there is in control of what's going on in here, I am attacking myself, because it all starts with my thought. I think this. I think that. I think that, oh, what will they think if? It's what I'm thinking. It's constantly self-attack. I am, Karen said, when people start talking about their real life experiences, isn't that what it's all about? A Course in Miracles came to Helen Schuckman, a human being whose life was, her emotions and things was amok. Her relationship with Bill was amok. It was a mess. It was a hot mess. A Course in Miracles was given to me because I was a hot mess. My emotions, I couldn't, oh my God. Hatred was at the top. At the top. You want to talk about pain? And having learned now, I told you I'm an empath. When I say to you pain, I'm talking about I felt physical pain. So when I read the passage in the Course, it said that all attack was self-attack, although later on I realized that self was with a capital S. But when I first read that all attack was self-attack, it made perfect sense to me, because I was experiencing physical pain. When I say my heart hurt, my heart hurt. I could feel, the wonderful thing about that is that when that turned around, when I became able to see it differently, when I was able to look at mommy and see the person that she actually was instead of the person I thought she was supposed to be, when I understood what Dr. Winston Collins told me when he said that if I looked at what role I played, that I would realize there was nothing to forgive. When I read that section in chapter 13, section 4, The Function of Time, which said that the shadowy figures from the past were precisely what I had to escape. When that happened for me, when I read that that I was bringing the past, that I was attempting to bring the past into the present, and that I was using the present to hurt myself, my mother, the future, my life, the world, that when I came to see that, when I tell you that a pain was lifted, listen, I remember feeling like ice melting. That's really what it, like a chunk of ice melting. I feel it in my body. And And I started, like the witch in the Wizard of Oz, they poured the water on her, that's like, I literally started to dissolve that whole armor of hatred. It just dissolved. When I tell you that I understand what a holy instant is, that when I understand what a holy relationship is, it's it's in here. It's a part of me. When I tell you that when I come in this room and I see your faces, something courses through me from my hair follicles, be it the real hair or not, from my hair follicles to my toenails. When I brought up about these women waiting with me on my tablet yesterday, while the tire was being changed, because they wanted to make sure that I was safe. Listen, posted on Facebook this morning. First sentence was, "I love my life. I love my life, and I love the people that are in my life. I love the world. I love the world, my world as it is today." I made a decision, and I make a decision because they're continuous. I continue make the decision that life is good, life is great, life is grand, that that love conquers all. I used to believe that. I don't know, way back in the hippie days. Love conquers all. I grabbed hold of that. I grabbed hold of that. I grabbed hold of that the day I was gang raped. That day. I remember holding on to love conquers all. This is not it. This is not it. This is not it. When I came home and my mother said to me when I told her what happened, and she told me that I was lying, that it was another excuse for working in school. Listen, when I say that we don't know what anything is for, when that course teaches me that we don't know what anything is for, my mother that day saying that to me took the entire whatever that experience was in the gang rape, it took that away. Because for me, her saying that hurt more than what I had just experienced physically. I don't know how that sounds to you. At that time, it gave me reason to hate her more at that time, but everything is for my own best interest. Her saying that took the sting. I never once felt. I don't even know if you heard me mention the gang rape. I know some of you know. Some of you do know, but it's not even a thing. It happened. It was an experience. I hook at school. I hook at school. We're not punished for our sins. We're punished by our sins. I chose a hooky school. I chose to hang out with somebody who hung out with the people that I was around when that happened. And that's what happened. I, I was that. It was just a page in the book. Nothing. Love conquers all. I've believed it. I still believe it. I live by it. I watch the stuff that's going on today, and I'm living by it. I watch with this little thing. It's falling off the sofa. Don't fall, baby boy. Fall. Love conquers all. You can't tell me anything different. The Course says, how can you who are so holy suffer? And Dove wrote, this holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge. At the end of the book. Be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. That you is love. That you is God. That you is life. That you is truth. This holy instant would I give to truth. This holy instant would I give to life. This holy instant would I give to love. This holy instant would I give to reality. Whew. Let reality be in charge. Let me not be your critic today, Lord. Let all things be exactly as they are. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. I can see peace anytime, anywhere, in everything. Because peace is really all there is. All I'm doing is seeking the truth, choosing the truth, living in the truth, believing love conquers all, believing. You're right. Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, look, y'all. Look. Believing, believing my worth is established by that which created me, my worth, and engaging with it, and not when the things are going great. It's not the hour between 9:30 and 10:30. Let me tell you something. Before I came on, I had a slump of my energy depreciated. It went somewhere. It went somewhere. I don't know where. And I said, oh, it's too late to call Lynn. That would be just awful. And I'm not gonna go on there. And I actually said to myself, I did. I had to. I'm not gonna go on there and pretend I'm feeling great because I'm really not. I'm just tired, and I don't know where this slump of tired came from. But I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna go on and do it. That's why I didn't put any slides up today. I said I'm not gonna put. I don't. They can deal with that. They're not. And then Dove, I come on and I hear Dove tell the story about the situation with the cancer. And I got lifted right there. I got lifted. This is real life. This is right, Sharonda. This is real life we're talking about here. This is not, let me just, read a lesson, or let me just, try to pretend that everything's okay. Let me, let me fake it till I make it. No, 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 no. That's not what we're taught. That's not the teaching. I can't fake it. The pain is real. So if the pain is real, I have to look at it. I have to deal with it. I have to recognize it. And I have to be able to pull it out and be willing to replace it. I am willing to see things differently. Above all else, I want to see it differently. I want to feel it differently. I want to know it differently. I want to love. And I just want to love. And I just want to love. And I just want to love. And the great part of that for me, I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me. I'm loving you for me. It feels good to me. And then what happens? I get Sharonda's smile, and I had Sally's smile, and this family that I have here. All this is what I've drawn unto myself because I've chosen to love. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Hello, Sarah. Sora. I like that. Sora. Is that it? Sora? Am I pronouncing that correctly? I like that. Sora. Never seen that name before.
That's Rev
Yes,
Sora.
it's Zara. And I
Sora
shouldn't wear makeup if I knew I'd be on camera.
What does it mean, Sora?
Zara is it's my Hebrew name,
Uh-huh.
and I adopted it about over 20 years ago.
And what does it mean?
A rabbi told me it meant angel. And I was blessed. A rabbi blessed the name for me. So
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You are a blessing too. You are blessed, and you are a blessing. And thank you for being here. We were just talking about angels. See, we knew you would show up. See now I know what an angel looks like. See, we were talking. No, sorry. Let me tell you, I was saying that I was raised Catholic, and I never did believe in that angels, and I had never actually seen one. And here you come. See? Thank you so
much. I am an angel.
You are indeed. You are indeed. As we all are. We all bring the message, and we don't always hear the message. We don't always receive the message in the way we think we should. We think everybody should come with us with a kumbaya that's also sweet and wonderful. No, no, no. As I mentioned earlier, being told that I was lying being told that the sting that came with those words were actually the message, the angel taking the other thing, just moving this pain out the way. Here, let this hurt for a while. It'll pass. I don't know. You don't know when, and I don't know when. I know when today, that day, it was December 7th, 1992, when I read that section in the course in chapter 13, in the function of time, starting at paragraph 4, from 4 into paragraph 6, so December 7th, 1992, when all that just kind of rolled up. This is what when time collapsed. I understand what that means. All that went away because all that time that I'd been holding on to, thinking I was holding on to stuff, it all just evaporated. It disappeared. All right, Karen, go ahead, and then I'm out.
Thanks, Zoomer. What I wanted to share was when you shared about your mom, what came to me was when you said that to her, and this is just coming from, my thoughts. I surely don't know what your mom was thinking, but it hurt her so much when you said that she said that because she wanted to believe it was a lie.
Oh, absolutely. Clear.
She didn't say it to call you a liar. She just,
Clear.
it hurt her so much and she didn't know how to, and so
I'm clear.
Yeah.
I'm
Beautiful.
absolutely clear on that. And I don't want to go into the mommy part of that story so much, but what happened was there was no police call, no doctor, no nothing. Nothing came of that because I know that mommy couldn't handle, she could not handle the idea of me hurting that badly. She couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle it because as the years passed, it became me defending her. I mentioned that already. It became me defending her. It wasn't, mommy she wasn't strong enough. I have no time for mommy stories right now like that. But I get it. It was her way of expressing love was through the fear. I get it. I get it clear, loud and clear. And I'm grateful. Because I learned from her worrying about me hurting or having a problem, that was her way of demonstrating her love for me. I saw mommy's love for me. It was twisted and distorted the way I finally got to see it, but I understand that. Yes, Sharonda, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, will you please say where in chapter 13 you were reading on
I
that
was
date?
reading from chapter 13, section 4, the function of time.
Thank you.
Starting at paragraph 4. This was, it was where my awakening came. It starts out the ego, but the ego and has no notion of time, something to that effect.
I know I'll find it. Thank you so much.
And again, the backstory quickly is that when I stopped using nicotine, I made a decision to go see a therapist because I had all these feelings. I didn't know what to do with them. I hated my mother, hated my mother. And he said to me in one session that if I looked at what role I played in a relationship, that I would realize there was nothing to forgive. I thought he was taking my money. And between that session and the following week is when I came across that section in the course. At that point in the course, I was still just flipping pages because I didn't understand the doggone book, read it, put it on the shelf, and I happened to flip open to chapter 13, section 4, the function of time, where it talks about where the ego doesn't deal with now, and it ends where I stopped was the shadowy figures from the past are precisely what we must escape. They're not real, and it goes on and it talks about something about a holy instant or holy relationship. I had to stop right there because I didn't know what that was because I hadn't read that much of the course yet to understand what's this holy instant thing. But up to that point, but the shadowy figures that I actually came to the place where I was able to open up and realize who my mother actually was, and not who I thought she should be. I am going over time. I don't want to do that. Family, thank you. Dub, thank you, because if it hadn't been for you in the story first thing, I probably would have sat here like this for an hour. We love you, family.
Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful greeting.
Thank you, Sora.
Thank you for making me feel at home.
God bless you, and I'm so grateful that you're here with us. And we did miss you last week, so grateful that you're back.